Yeah.
We are live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Amamanson Network. This is the relationship show on Amamanson Network. My name is Nancy, and today I have here with me Veronica Amate, and I would like for her to introduce herself a little bit for us. And then we are going to talk today. Our topic is about soulmates. But before I do, Mrs. Amate, please introduce yourself for us.
It should be Miss Amate.
Miss
So,
Amate, sorry.
yeah, it's my maiden name.
Okay,
Like
sorry.
you rightly said, I'm Veronica Amate, and I am the founder of the Challenge Foundation. It's a disability organization. I try to mentor and then coach persons with disabilities. I also offer a charity to disabled persons who are needy. That's a few things I will say about myself. Yeah.
Okay, we are very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And everybody knows me already. I'm just as Nancy. I'm a teacher, a Ghanaian teacher living in Germany. I am a mom, I'm a blogger, and so on and so forth. And
Okay.
today we are going to talk
I've been
about.
watching, I saw one of your videos that actually touched me. I
Oh,
posted it
really?
on my, the one about people who are willing to come to abroad with the Cinderella.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Well, I got a lot of negative comments as well. Not everybody takes that lightly, but I am glad that I've met somebody who liked it. You know, sometimes you trigger some people when you put your opinion out there, but
Yeah.
like we say, everybody should have an opinion.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
it's good they know the
I'm
truth.
always happy when I get positive feedback.
That was just
Yeah,
the
because the
blatant
internet.
truth, and you know the truth hurts. But I'm in love. I'm so much in love with that video.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so today we are discussing relationships, and our topic for today is soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we hear that a lot. What is a soulmate? What do you think a soulmate is? And does soulmate even exist? Will be my first question. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe. So I'm going to talk about the meaning of soulmate in this context because it's a relationship something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I believe that soulmate is that person that is ideally and perfectly suited for another person. It's this person who is perfectly suited for one's temperament and resembles your attitude and belief. You feel that chemistry, that sense of chemistry when you are around that person. You feel loved and understood. You feel deeply connected and secure when you are around this person. And that implies that it is somebody that you can fit in, or that person fits in you as a partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, um, that soulmate, can it be a friend instead of like a partner? Can you find a friend who is your soulmate, or must it always be only a partner?
Yeah, that is why I said that I was going to describe a soulmate in the context because we are talking about relationship. Because I believe that you can also find an ordinary friend, a friend
Mm-hmm.
without any amorous something,
Mm-hmm.
as a soulmate. It could be a man, it could be a woman. I believe in that. Once in a while, you find people like that.
Once in a while, yes, you do. I also believe that soulmate can be just anybody that you kind of have that connection with. This is
Yeah,
somebody that you feel like you can always rely on that
yeah,
person, and so on and so forth.
yeah.
So, do you believe in soulmates personally? Do you believe that there's somebody, one person for everybody who understands them and fits all of these criteria, or are there several soulmates?
Well, I believe that there are, if we are saying that we could even find soulmates that we may not probably go into relationship with, then I will want to say that there are several soulmates. I don't believe in that concept that there are specific soulmates for people. There are several of them. This is what I would want to believe in.
So different people can fit certain needs for you. So that because if there's only one soulmate, my next question would have been, then what happens when your soulmate dies or the relationship breaks up? Does that mean that you're doomed to never find somebody who is compatible like again?
Yeah, it was a question I was also going to use to buttress the fact that there are several soulmates. It can't be one. Sometimes they are made, they could be mold. And so, yes, I was reading something some time ago, and somebody said the concept of soulmate, existence of soulmate, is laughable because they are in dreams, they are in books, they are in fairy tales, and they are everywhere in mainstream media, yeah. So I don't believe that there is just, yeah, like you said. Then what about people who get married and then their partners passes on? Does it mean that they could not find any other person? Sometimes they even find better people than their previous partners.
True, true, true. So how would one know they found their soulmate? Like, let's say if you're in a relationship right now, how would you know within yourself this is my soulmate? How do people how are people able to identify that?
Yeah, you are frozen. Okay, so basically we are able to determine that by the description or the definition we try given to the meaning of soulmate from the beginning. They are, you know, that by the fact that you have this deep connection with a person. This person that you are able to have that intellectual or objective discussion with, you don't feel less, if not at the same level. There are people that you feel some form of chemistry. You click, you get on with such people. So these are some of the basic things that tells you that this person is a soulmate.
Okay. So like let's say in marriages, right? I've had people who have like feeling like, marriage can the whole journey in marriage is it's in stages. And
Yeah.
then you can start very much feeling like I have found my soulmate. And then somewhere along the line, it starts to feel like that is the worst person you could have found. It doesn't fit at all. Why does this happen later on then? If this person fits all of these needs for you, what changes?
Yes, so I think that comes in when we so much hastily decide. Making a relationship work is a hard work, and it comes with mutual understanding. Both parties must agree that they want to make the relationship work. And so if you just meet this person that you know from afar, you have not lived under the same roof, and then you hastily conclude that the person is your soulmate, you might be going wrong. People start relationships and they may think that, or if you agree with me, very soon you meet people and you would never think that you could be partners.
It can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, but then later on, you wouldn't know what happened, and then you are so much attached with them. You live a beautiful life with that. You begin to think that you couldn't have ever lived without them. So it comes with. It's not something that just come at a go. It's a gradual process. It's a process that a cooperated process. This is what I want to say. And the two of you must agree to make it work, to work on it. It's hard work. This is what I believe.
Well, I do agree with you that um it takes hard work for you to maintain this feeling that this person understands you, because when you meet somebody, as even if you meet the person in your 30s, we are always changing, we are always developing, we are always coming into contact with new ideas. So our mindset about certain things keeps changing. And in as much as we are changing, our partner is also changing with as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So if he has a different mindset later on, or is growing into something else and you're growing further apart, it will create this feeling like, who is this person? I don't even understand this person. I don't even know the person. But if you continue to work together, I mean, if you're working together and you're not growing apart, everybody's not like doing their own thing, we are doing it together, it is easier for us to maintain that soulmate feeling, you know? Like you said, it's a powerful connection and you feel like this person, you know, tick all the right boxes. And I have something, maybe people will kill me for this. Isn't this quest for soulmate very similar to love bombing at the beginning stages with a narcissist? Like when you meet a narcissist and you feel all of this, you know, all this, somebody who checks all the right box in the beginning. This quest for soulmate, isn't it dangerous, especially for us women, when we are always looking for this person who ticks all the right boxes, you know? Don't you think that this quest to find soulmate can be a bit dangerous?
yeah, of course. So somebody was actually arguing that it is people who don't want to work on themselves, who think that there is somebody out there who is just fit for them. And then she went on to say that you you get what you give.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually work on yourself positively, your attitude, you get attracted to somebody like you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And in the same way, if you are starting a relationship with somebody, what we have to know is that I am not perfect. I myself is not perfect. And so I'm not supposed to get somebody who is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so we should consider our flaws. I have flaws, the person also
As well.
has flaws. And probably this person, I was watching a video some time ago, the woman was pointing a flaw about the guy. And the guy said, why are you doing this thing to me? You have so many flaws I have not made mention to you. Why are you pointing my own? So you see, if you and I believe that sometimes I believe in the power of your subconscious mind. You can use this law of attraction to attract somebody that you want to be with. That imagination of a kind of, we all have a kind of people that we want to be in partnership with. So that description you have in your mind, you can use the law of attraction. Are you there? It's like you are gone. Oh, Nancy is frozen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You were frozen.
I'm frozen. Oh, it's
Yeah.
just my internet acting up again. I could hear you, and I hope you are rather frozen for me. But okay, yeah.
Oh,
But now I can see your display.
okay. Okay. So, I think that you give what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And people who don't want to work on themselves, they are the people that are with this concept of finding a soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
You see, yeah.
So we have agreed that soulmate can be made, and the quest for soulmates can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my other question, when I think about soulmates a lot, because I personally, I don't think my husband is my soulmate. When I first met him, I I think we rather grew more to we started out as friends, you know. It wasn't like this just in the beginning
Yeah.
we see somebody and you know, I'm in love or something. But we started out as friends, and then there were certain characteristics in him that I found to be very, very interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
the most important characteristic was for me is kindness and somebody who is caring, you know.
Yeah.
And those were the main things. Of course, somebody who is also a breadwinner. But my thing is for the people who are always looking out for soulmates, and not just soulmate, there's so many terms flying around nowadays: soulmate, twin flame, whatever, all of these terms. Don't you think when you have this thing in your mind, you tend to write certain people off because you don't, as soon as you meet the person and all
Yeah,
of this
then of course you
tingles.
are not open.
Yes, because nothing, because when you met the person, nothing was tingling, your whole body was not tingling. So that person is not your soul. Because people believe as soon as you meet your soulmate, all your, you're supposed to have butterflies in your stomach and everything else. But that butterfly, it does come, once you fall in love with a person, then the butterflies do come, because all of a sudden you are right in front of me all of this time. And I didn't even know that you existed. I just thought you were just a friend. I didn't know that I had this amorous, feelings towards you. Do you think that people write people off because they are so much in need of this soulmate?
I think so. I think so. I will agree with you. I will perfectly agree with you that very often we don't allow that time to study people, to work on. Sometimes it can start from friendship, like you
Mm-hmm.
said.
Mm-hmm.
People are too into this soulmate something, and so they don't allow the time to actually work to see how, for instance, ordinary friendship will develop into um like amorous relationship or
Mm-hmm.
something. You understand? So they easily tend to write people off. That I will agree with you.
And also, why are we so much in love with this soulmate idea? Why is it so? Why are people into it, into finding their soulmate, especially when people start to hit the mid ages, and then all of a sudden their partners are the wrong persons for them? Why do you think? Is it just media, or is it something that is innate in us to look for our soulmates?
Yeah, I would think that we have scanty information about the concept
Mm-hmm.
of soulmates. And also, I did say earlier that people who try to seem better than somebody else by obscuring perceived flaws and lying about personal traits, to
Mm-hmm.
secure dates and whatever. There are these people who think that there are specific people just for them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Do you understand? Yeah. So there are a lot more factors that contribute to that. We have scanty information about the concept. We don't take time to really understand. But I don't believe that there is just one person somewhere fit for me. I believe I could find soulmates in any other person. There are several of them. You need time to work on it. You need hard work. You need a lot of effort. It's a cooperated process. Like I said, you need mutual understanding to make it. But probably if one of you is not willing to make the relationship work, then of course it will not work. No matter how hard you try, one of you try, it will never work.
So if you have a friend, let's say I come to you and I tell you, oh, I found a soulmate, because that's, yeah, I found a soulmate and blah, 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 blah. Or if you want to advise your friend concerning somebody who is like, how, like you just said, how do you detect or help somebody to detect that, okay, maybe this person is just trying to put on this persona for you to feel like he's checking all the right boxes, because there are people with masks on who make us feel like they are the right person, and then we later find out that they are not. So if a friend or is being love bombed or whatever, how do we help people to identify this is a real soulmate and that this person is just probably just faking it?
Okay. First of all, I want us to look at this. There are, what I want to emphasize here is there are soulmates. What I don't believe in is that there is no just one soulmate for somebody. There are soulmates, but there are several of them. Like I said, we could find them in any other person. And
Mm-hmm.
the underlying factors are what I mentioned earlier on. it takes the two of you to work on it. It doesn't just come out of the blue. You meet somebody and you think that you have the fundamental characteristics or whatever that you want in somebody that.
Hello, Marv.
Okay, Marvin, yeah, to be a partner. You know, I said earlier on that we are all not perfect. In as much as I am not perfect, I will not expect somebody else to be perfect. So if I find like 40 to 50% of the characteristics that I want my partner to have, then the two of you will have to work on the rest of it. So what I wouldn't want to, it will be difficult for you to tell somebody this is your soulmate. The basic things we have already spoken about from the beginning: somebody that you have that chemistry with, somebody that you have that connection, you feel secured with, somebody that you can trust, somebody that understands you. So these are the basic things you should look at. And also it comes with time. You just don't meet the person and think, wow, this is my soulmate made for me. It takes time, you know, as you speak to the person. Me, for instance, when I speak to people, I may not see somebody, but the moment I begin to speak to you on phone, I can tell whether you could be my soulmate or not.
Okay.
Yeah. You are frozen again? Oh.
Yeah. I think it was frozen for a bit.
Yeah, so
But
when I
I
speak to
think, yeah.
somebody on telephone, we may not meet, but I will be able to tell if you are you will be a good soulmate or not. You know, because I look out for basic things. And then let me chip this in. Let me chip this in. I used to have a pastor back home in Ghana, and she told me she found this soulmate that she wanted to get married to, somebody that she thought was a soulmate. They wanted to get married. And then along the line, he was prepared with everything to do the wedding. Along the line, something happened, and the woman disappointed him. There were two ladies who were coming to them to like help them cook, wash, and stuff. And the other lady, she did not like. She never thought that that other lady could be her soulmate. And so she was not looking in that direction at all. Not until this other lady disappointed her. And she had no option. So, and it was time for him to get married. So he said, okay, let me try this other person. The pastor was telling me, Veronica, I have now found this person a perfect soulmate. And
Wow.
so, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I want to argue that you could find soulmates in everybody. It depends on the two of you to work it out. Sometimes the people that you think could be your soulmates may not be your perfect soulmate. Yeah.
Yeah, Marv has a question here. She says that is the soulmate idea a fairy tale fantasy?
Yeah, I said it earlier. Somebody said they are in books, they are in movies. It's not real. It doesn't exist.
I also do find it as a fairy tale fantasy. You can find a perfect partner. You can who is a perfect fit. For me, 80% is a perfect fit. 70% is a perfect fit. You can. I think soulmates is it's an ideal that everybody would like to reach. But I think there are dangers in that. That's why I believe that it's a fairy tale because um I once made a video that you have to communicate, and somebody wrote under the video, I don't want to be telling my partner every time what he has to do. He must know what he has to do. But what you don't say or ask another person, Why would you be mad if that person is not doing that for you? Once we have this fairy tale fantasy in our heads, we are expecting the other person to read our minds. We are expecting them to, fulfill a need in us that we have to work on ourselves. Like Veronica said in the beginning, we have to work on ourselves. But we are thinking that this
Exactly.
person is coming to fill this void. And once this person does not fill this void, then we tend to like write them off and so on. That is why in today's day, we in the dating scene, we see so many people like they go on one date, they never call the person again, they ghost the person, then that's it, and then they move on to the next, because people are on this quest to find this thing and they want it to happen like really fast for them. I don't know if you want to add something to that, Veronica.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, there are about billions of people occupying this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And if we believe in soulmates, as in just one person who fits in somebody, how are you able to locate this one person who is your soulmate? Probably somewhere in China or somewhere in the US. They are scattered all over there. And if you don't know exactly where this soulmate is, occupying in these 250,000 cities, how are you able to locate that person? What about people whose partners pass on in life? Then it means they will not be able to find any other person again. So I don't believe in that soulmate. The soulmates are everywhere. You can use the law of attraction. You can use the power of your subconscious mind to actually get somebody that is close to what you want. And like I said, it is about compromise and mutual understanding. It takes hard work. It takes hard work to really make it work.
And my other question is, do you think the idea of soulmates can cause people to stay in unhealthy or toxic relationships?
Yeah, because if you have that preconception, and you are living with somebody, you think that the person is not your soulmate, and just like you are saying, you are not ready to work on yourself and also to work on the relationship. You think that the person does not fit you or something. So I think you are right.
Yeah, and I also think that once you have this idea that you are also you found your soulmate, even when there is something wrong in the relationship, instead of working on that thing, instead of working on that thing or taking very firm decisions, you are waiting for the magic to happen, because you are relying on this magic to happen. Sorry, my lights went off. I don't know why. Hope you can still see me. So that can also lead to people staying in unhealthy relationships for a very long time.
Yeah. You are right. You are right. And you see, we have a group of persons with disabilities, and sometimes I didn't know you were coming from that perspective. It's like, most of the women are in toxic relationships, and they think that because their partners are their soulmates, even if they are in those toxic relationships, they find it very difficult to say goodbye. Because they think that if they leave those relationships, they may not be able to find another person. And I have been advising them. So you are perfectly right.
So if somebody has found a mate, and let's say, like for me, like I said, 70% works, 80% works, and so on, can you advise on like steps that we can make to create our own ideal partner or our own ideal soulmate?
Yeah. First of all, we should not jump into hasty conclusion. If you meet somebody, you need to take time, talk to the person, and then find out that connection, that chemistry. The problem is sometimes I think that, one person may not have a successful relationship with somebody, But these two people may have they may separate and go their ways. And then each one of them may be able to find somebody that suits them. They may have a healthy relationship without any problem. And that is
Mm-hmm.
why I always say that the success of a relationship depends on the two people involved in the relationship. You see, if you really want that relationship, you have to work on it. I keep on saying this. So if you meet somebody and it's about close to what you want, then be
Mm-hmm.
ready to work on it. And it comes with time. It comes with time. You don't just see the person and then you rush into concluding that this person is okay for me. You have to talk, speak to the person, and then find out what works for two of you. You know, um, what your differences are, and also whether you will be able to cope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, sorry, yeah, finish.
mm, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So how are we able to identify the difference between real soulmate connection and sometimes trauma bonding in relationships? That's like you just said about the people who come like trauma bonding with somebody who is abusing you or something. You just think the reason why you cannot let go of the person is because that person is your soulmate. Like,
Yeah.
how do we identify the difference between soulmate connection and trauma bonding, you know?
Okay, but Nancy, you see, if somebody is your soulmate, the person will not abuse you. Yeah, this we should know. The person will understand you.
Mm-hmm.
The person will get on with you. And then you always find a way of negotiating whatever problems crop up in the relationship. So I don't understand why people will be in a toxic relationship and they will still think the person is their soulmate. Somebody who is your soulmate will not abuse you in the relationship. Or
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. But you see, sometimes it's really hard for people to identify the difference between the two. It's like even if we break up 10 times, we come together 10 times, and people feel like that is a soulmate connection. Like no matter how many times they break up, they come back again and then break up and then come back again. And at some point, I'm saying this because I have a very close friend of mine who's currently on her sixth or seventh breakup with the same person, and she's very much into the astrology scene where they talk a lot about twin flames and soulmates and all of that, you know. And she honestly to God believes that that is her twin flame slash soulmate slash everything. That is why they keep breaking up and coming back together and breaking up and coming back. That is why I asked the question. I don't understand that concept because I think like it's the universe telling you to break up and leave it there. That's why you keep breaking up and coming back together.
so I think initially I was behaving like this person. But then finally I realized that there is a popular adage in tree. Agrobesoa fi anopa.
Yeah,
Do you know that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say
So
piano part. Yeah.
yeah, so you keep on breaking, coming back. So you should know that it will not work. And this is somebody, I don't know what is happening in that relationship that you are citing as an
Mm-hmm.
example. But this is somebody who keep on abusing you. This is somebody who do not understand you at all.
Oh.
This is somebody who is not cooperating. So how then is the person your soulmate? Sometimes we should reason up. I don't know how that works, that soulmate thing. I don't know how it works, but I believe that somebody who is your soulmate will not abuse you. That person will not use harsh words on you. That person will not maltreat you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel secured when you are with this person. You feel loved when you are with this person. So if these things are not there, how then do you think the person is your soulmate? I don't know how that works. Nancy.
Okay, so Marvelyn has just wrote that fairy tale seekers are lazy to work on their desire, having unrealistic expectations on somebody they are getting to know. Yes, I do believe in that. I feel like for so many of us who haven't done the work, like, working on ourselves, understanding ourselves, sometimes it's even good to spend a year or two just alone by yourself to get to know yourself and enjoy your own company before you just expect that somebody should come and then make you happy and, have
Yeah,
this false expectation. Yeah.
yeah. I
Or the
said
person
this
should read your mind.
from at the beginning of our discussion, right? People who don't want to work on themselves, they are the ones that think there is somebody somewhere to come and make them happy, you know.
Yeah. And I even think it's borderline very dangerous. I do believe that you can create a soulmate out of a person as long as there's something in common. You have something in common. You can
Yeah.
create, a soulmate out of a person. As time goes on, you come to, understand each other in a way that you can almost read each other's mind and complete each other's sentences. But it takes time. It does not
Yeah.
happen in the way we see it in the movies.
Out of the
It
blue,
takes
yeah.
yeah, it takes years of living together, knowing each other, understanding each other, and I do think that it's very dangerous, especially for women or for girls who are now entering the dating scene or who are now entering marriages, to think that it's going to be roses all the time. And then once you enter into marriage and you find out that it's not like that all the time, you tend to be disappointed, because you want somebody to make you feel good all the time. You want somebody to read your thoughts. You want somebody, you have to understand, why am I like this? Why do I get into these type of moods? Why do I react the way? You have to understand yourself, but expecting, and it's even a huge responsibility. It is unfair
Mm-hmm.
to put onto another, like, you have to understand me and know me and blah 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 blah. So personally, I do find soulmates, this concept of soulmate, a bit dangerous for women, especially for women. Also because we know that we have narcissistic people around, and of course, women can also be narcissistic, but I'm talking now from the perspective of the fact that it's men. And if a man knows that these are the boxes he needs to check for him to be accepted as your soulmate, for a very short period, he's going to try to check all of these boxes for you, just to blind you. That's why they say love is blind, just to, blind you. And this concept has led to people emptying their bank accounts, uh, completely abandoning their families and things like that, because they think they found their soulmate. And now this person said, don't talk to these people again, or I'll leave you. And they're like, because you are my soulmate, and then you find yourself in this narcissistic bubble, which later will lead to like abuse and so on. So yeah, I believe soulmates does exist, but I think it's dangerous to go chasing after this concept as well. I don't know if I'm contradicting myself, but
Yeah. Nancy, do you know that you can actually start a relationship with somebody that you may think you are not really in love with? You may not. I believe that love can be developed
yep.
from the story of that pastor friend I told you.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so the more you continue to live with this person, the more love you develop for this person. And these are people that you build a fulfilling life with. And it's a gradual process,
I
you
completely agree.
know. Yeah. And then the two people must both be involved. It is not one person's work. You see, relationship is not an easy, it's not an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that you are into somebody, then you must be ready to work, to focus on making it work. This is what I believe in. And so that's why I keep on saying that. It,
I
it took
completely,
me,
I completely agree with you.
yeah,
Completely.
I don't know if I want to say this thing yet. It took me so many years to be able to break away from. It was just like the one you were talking about. So many things happened. We broke up, we come together. And, I was thinking that this
Wow.
person is a soulmate. Sometimes it's difficult, but if you understand this concept well and you let it go, you remember, you never regret. You know that you realize that you have made a very good decision for yourself, a healthy one. You see, so we should not hold on to that soulmate something and then continue to be in a toxic relationships and also continue with the drama and everything. If you realize the relationship is not working, you have to let it go. There is nothing like you can find soulmates in any other person. If you are really into the person and you want to make it work, this is what I believe in. Yeah.
Wow. 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 Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sometimes
Uh,
you know that you can actually grow with your partner. The more you grow together, the more you fall in love deeply with a person.
I completely believe that those type of relationships last longer than those ones that in the very beginning there's a lot of feelings bubbling up, and and then after a few months or years and those feelings just die, like it just goes away. I believe like when it takes like time to develop, get to know the person,
Yes.
those relationships do tend, from my own personal experience, the people that I've met previously before I was married, the people that I met and I was like, oh my God, like, I like this person. After like 2 weeks, I'll be looking at the person and he will just be annoying me. Like, he'll have he will have like certain traits, and it'll be like, it will even be like the way he's chewing on. It will be just be minute things. And then all of a sudden I was like, why did I find this person like so, like, why did I fall in love so quickly? Like with,
Quickly.
yes. And for some of us, when that happens like a couple of times, you start to think, okay, let me take my time when I meet people. Let me not, the reason why I did that story about Cinderella syndrome is that for us ladies, it's not for every lady, but for us ladies, most of us, as soon as we meet somebody, we plan this whole fairy tale in our head of how it's going to go. And somehow we hold on to this idea, even though this other person, they've not promised us anything. We hold on to this idea. And that leads to more disappointment later on in the, down the line. And I believe that the people that we meet, that we don't have any fantasies or expectations, and we just get to know these people, we
Yeah.
do tend to have more stable relationship. And it's the same thing with even our lady friends, like women who are friends. The people that we take our time to get to know, we can have more meaningful relationships or friendships with these people than people who make fast friends with us. It's all smiling faces, and then later on we find out that maybe they are not who they say they are. But there are some people who are very friendly, but it's not a deep friendship. It's just very shallow on the surface friendship, because they're like social butterfly. They fly from one person to the other all the time, and you think like you're going to develop a friendship with them.
Okay, so
Okay.
what do you mean to say is like we should go into relationships with open mind?
Yes. Yes. Not
So
with
it's like if you
fantasies.
don't expect anything from anybody, you don't get disappointed along the
That
way.
is true.
Okay.
That is true. True.
Okay.
Before I sign off, I have one last question I wanted to ask you. As is soulmate different from soul ties? Have you ever heard of this thing called soul ties?
No, it's my first time. But basically it
Because
will be the same as soulmates, isn't it?
it could be the same thing. And then I wanted to ask this, it's a bit sensitive on with that soul tie thing when I hear about it. Do you think as religious people, be it Christians or Muslims or whatever, is there a concept of soulmate in our religion? Is there a concept like that?
Yeah, I
Or in
think
our traditional religion, or even in our traditional religion back home, is there a concept like soulmate, like in our
mm,
traditional African religion?
okay. I think very often you see some Christians finding partners, they go show these people to their partners. And then some of the pastors will go like, you will not have any successful relationship with this person. For what reason they do that, I do not know. And I also don't know under what criteria that they try to, say some of those things. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have ever experienced that, probably from somebody. Sometimes you take people to your pastors and they tell you they are not your soulmates, or they are not people that you can actually have relations. And I want to believe that it is based on this soulmate concept. And so, yeah.
I remember when I was young, there was this thing that people used to do. Like I remember when I was like maybe 16 or 17, people would say, "Oh, if you meet a boy and you like the boy, then you people have to do this blood covenant thing,
Covenant.
and then he will never leave you and you will never leave him and you will stay together forever." That's why I asked if that holds something in traditional African religion, or if even in modern day religion like Christianity or Muslim or Buddhism or whatever. That is what I know. Marv writes that childhood trauma is identified to be a major contributing factor of people staying with abusive partners because they've been abused by their parents. Because they've been abused by their parent, that makes them think it's okay to be in abusive relationship. Yes, yeah, I think so. I can identify that being a reason for because most of the problems we have, mental health problems we have, are things that had to do with unstable relationships that we had, either with our parents or traumatic episodes of things that happened to us as kids that goes on to influence us for the rest of our lives. It doesn't need to be something like a physical trauma or even sexual trauma. If you have an avoidant mother, a mother who does not, whose mothering style is very hands off, that can lead to people wanting to be with somebody who is with them all the time. All the different attachment styles we have with our parents can lead to you falling into the hands of the wrong
They come
person.
into play.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're always thinking of this ideal. We all have this, our brain is overly active and it's always playing stuff. And then you create the ideal person in your mind, thinking this person will come and complete you. Okay. So before I sign off, we've been speaking
Yeah,
with
so you were talking about people doing this
blood thing.
yeah. What I think people do that when they want to strengthen that bond in the relationship. They want to feel secured. They want to make sure that the partner does not leave them. But what if later on you realize that this person, does not fit in your belief system, your cultural values and whatever, and then you want to part ways, then it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't understand why people go doing some of those things. If you don't want the relationship anymore, then it becomes a problem. You see, so I believe, like you said, we should go into relationships with open-minded and be ready to, if you think that you are really into the person, make sure you will focus on working on yourself and also on that person. All these things of soulmates and whatever are not important. And then we should also know that it is not something that comes out of the blue. It's um, a gradual process. It comes with time, and we should have that patience.
All right. Thank you very much. I would like to sign off here. It's been very nice talking to you. And Marv, thank you for joining us. We'll be back again next week with another topic. If you have any interesting topic that you would like for us, please send it to us and we'll discuss that topic as well. Marv has another statement or question. She said, "Isn't sex before marriage considered a soul tied in various?" It is. It actually is. That's why I asked that. People think that once you
Okay,
sleep with somebody, then that means you are tied to that person forever. And each person you sleep with, that person leaves a little bit of themselves with you, and it's very complicated. Maybe we should get somebody who is a spiritual expert to come here and tell us more about those things.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably to
Yeah.
break
So
it
I
down
have
for
a very interesting topic. I have given it to Akosia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can
It's,
discuss that next week.
yeah, next week. It's about physical disability and blind dates. At what time in the relationship should you let a person know? You are speaking to somebody that you have not met, but you have a physical disability. At what time should you communicate that to the person?
Oh, that is an interesting topic. Yeah. So people, we already have our topic for next week. Do join us, and I'm hoping that we'll have more of our panelists here for us to discuss that. Thank you for joining us, and see you next
Thank
week.
you to
Bye-bye.
Nancy. Bye.
Bye.